Southern California, went up to the Pacific Northwest. Now we're going to drop all the way down into Brazil now for the next one. I'm always amazed when I talk with our customers around the world around means and methods and how people build in different locations like Japan versus North America versus Brazil. And I feel like it's such a great way to learn. So excited to see what you have for us. Lucas, take it away.
Thank you, Javier. My name is Lucas Fukuda. I'm an architect coordinator and the manager of Reta Engenharia. We recently completed 30 years of existence, and the project I'm gonna cast today. So Reta Engenharia is a consultancy company. Yeah, we deliver solutions from feasibility studies such as this one that I'm gonna present to full implementation of industrial and corporate projects. So I'm gonna show today this is an existing building from one of our clients. It's a public sector client. And we decided to divide in two different cases because it's two different schedules. Then would be easier to update the dates. So first of all, I'm going to show this south block. I'm not going to pass through all the milestones because it's nearly 150 if you combine both. I'm just going to show what actually cmBuilder helped us to define where would be the construction site, all the other installations that will support construction. Unfortunately, my presentation is in Portuguese, so you'll have to believe in what I'm saying here. And the existing building has some structures that we would have to disassemble. So we used a lot of the library from cmBuilder, such as this crane truck. And we explain how we're gonna disassemble. This is an interesting part that we should start the demolishing. And we saw that our pile drivers, they didn't have the enough height to do this kind of reinforcement with tile backs. So we're gonna use part of the terrain to give ramps and the necessary elevation for this. On this site, we will have a 14-level building and 6-level underground. So we have to reinforce this existing wall to be able to excavate. And excavation was the main challenge of this terrain because we are in the center of the city. There will be a lot of logistic complexity involved. So with cmBuilder, we showed how we're gonna reinforce the wall and start doing the excavation. And here we're showing how the construction site, which is in the other part of the building, communicates with the construction part. So it's an underground connection. So this is the construction site. And then we start demolition. So we're going to use this jackhammer to demolish part of the existing wall. That's why it had to be reinforced prior to this. And we saw that we have to think also about the cage host foundation. So where we're going to position, we're going to use the same equipment. So this is an economic benefit that we saw. So we're starting to locate where's the ramp and the main retaining wall that's going to position. Here we saw that we're going to use part of the dirt to make a temporary platform because here is going to be the foundation of the crane, and the equipment only from this side wouldn't have the total capacity to do all the foundations piles. So this is a temporary solution that we have to anticipate, and cmBuilder helped us. Also, where the concrete pump will be located. So excavation will be a little bit slower because we are conditioned by these pile drivers, these anchored tiebacks. So it can happen more fast in the middle, leaving the necessary height for this equipment to make the piles. And we have also these excavators piling up the trucks. And we're gonna have, this will be an 8 months solution, and all the trucks will gather here. So we're showing our client logistics. And since it's 6 underground levels, this will repeat until the here the 11th level. So this kind of ramp, it will only get higher, deeper, and we will remove it with this long reach excavator. cmBuilder helped us to choose each of the equipments, and they influence in our planning and in our budgeting. We saw that when this activity happens, we have to make a temporary access for all the workers, so it won't have, because of safety issues. And then we're gonna assemble the main crane. Here we saw that we have to remove the aerial infrastructure for electricity. And then we have a special kind of crane, which needs to be built 80 meters above ground, above this building, because we don't have enough space to position the crane. So we will have to stop traffic for 2 weekends to assemble this crane using this special mobile crane. And we'll have to remove other equipments that were finalizing some activities underground. So we're starting to pour the concrete from the foundation. And this will repeat for the 6 levels. And this is an interesting case, benefits that we brought to the project, because this crane is a special kind of crane. And this column, the steel column, prior our study, it was 9 meters height. So it was really heavy. We didn't have enough space here to gather all the columns and to assemble them. We asked for an alteration into the design. So the 9th height column, which demanded a 12 long truck, which is very complex to move around the city, now it's 6 meter high, so it's lighter. And we can also assemble them faster because the connection, it was we changed the welded joint of the columns to a flanged and bolted connection. So before it was 3 days to complete each floor. Now in 1 day we can assemble the whole floor. So that is a very economical gain in time and budgeting. So this will repeat the pouring the concrete of the slab, the positioning of the steel structure, and this will repeat for 14th level. I'm gonna jump a little bit because there's a lot of detail that we were managed to give to this study, feasibility study. One thing that I want to show you guys is the positioning of the cage host, because as you see, the building is almost the size of the quarter here, and this was the only place where we have access to the underground. So with bobcats we can use to transport some materials, and we can use it to the fullest of capacity to transport material to all the levels here. And I'm gonna jump a little bit further. It's a very tall building, 14 level. We saw also how we're gonna disassemble the crane. We study is the same crew. And other things of the building we have to position with this telescopic handler, this steel stair. Also this pedestrian catwalk, where we're gonna position the equipment, everything. The library from cmBuilder helped us. This is a swinging stages. We will have one at each face of the building. I understand in North America you run with this because of extreme climates. Here not so much. We have more stable climate, so we're gonna do this. And the other building is right here on the construction site. This is the existing building, but we were gonna use as a construction site. After we finalize the underground levels here, it will be transferred underground. So it's a little bit similar. We have to prepare the site. We have to drill all the piles. We have to think about the foundation of the cage hoist at this stage so we can optimize the equipment's position. And we're gonna run with the excavation from the middle, leaving heights for the tile backs here. Here we saw that the terrain, it has a kind of a different level, so we have to mobilize this equipment again. And here we saw that there's another retaining wall that we have to excavate, and this will be a good milestone to think about that. So we're gonna pour the concrete from the street, and we're gonna use the excavation with also the anchor tiebacks happening combined. There are different companies working together, so if they understand how they can be orchestrated through planning, then we can achieve the goals of the site. So here is 3-level underground. We're gonna use again the long reach to remove this kind of dirt ramp. And then we're gonna also pour the concrete. Here we don't have steel columns, it's more conventional concrete structure. We saw in cmBuilder when we are in the 3rd level, some spatial constraint for the connection here with the existing and the new building. So for example, here is a good time to think about assembling this steel structure. If we wait the building to reach the tallest part, we won't have space to do this. So it's something that we anticipated using this kind of simulation. And another thing that help us to think about steel structuring is that on this part of the building, we have a huge auditorium with a capacity of 208 people. And this structure is for an elevated grandstand. So we decided to build it in 2 phases. One, the main structure of it, and only after we poured the concrete of the last slab that I'm gonna show here, we can start assembling the rest of this elevated grandstand because it's supported with the other levels of the building. So I cannot build it. It's important because I don't have enough space to store this material on site. So the construction company has to know this, that we should divide in 2 phases so we don't have issues during site. So this is when I finalized the construction of the elevated grandstand, and I have to pour some concrete on it as well. So we simulated this concrete pump, and also the steel structure of the roof here. So we are actually using 2 positions of this mobile crane. And cmBuilder helped us also to see if we could assemble chillers from other parts of the building. And also here, we will use a strategy of combining this crane truck and lifting beams. So we can position this stair, this kind of stair, and the other inside the building. We're gonna use this kind of strategy. And the same strategy for the facade, using the swinging stage for each part of the place. So this will be one of the main buildings of our city. If you count, is 120,000 square meters construction area. So it's really nice to have a platform that really can help us get the fullest of the details of our planning and our cost estimations, right? So this is what I wanted to show today.
Lucas, that was fantastic. Thank you. You were cooking there. I didn't want to. No one wanted to cut you off because you're rolling. That was fantastic, and I know it was one of the biggest jobs in your area. One question before we dive into Shannon. Lufat asks, did you create the excavation that we showed in Revit or inside cmBuilder?
Inside cmBuilder. We didn't have a detailed project for this excavation, So it was fundamental to use this kind of tool to define where's the logistics of the excavation.
Fantastic. That was awesome. Thank you for that.